Hello everyone and welcome back for another episode of Phoenix Point. We are still on Backer Build 3, as you might have guessed by the fact that we're still in the middle of the campaign. I don't know what we're really going to be doing. There's still places for us to explore. We're probably going to work on expanding our network, getting more refueling stations in, and other things like that. So we've got one right here. We've got another scavenging site, so I think we'll go down and do that. Before we get too far into the episode, then let me just get this going. I wanted to talk about the recent news, and unless you've had your head stuck in the sand, you will by now have heard that Phoenix Point is going to be launching exclusively through the Epic Games Store, at least exclusively for the first year. Now, there's been quite a bit of controversy and quite a lot of very angry comments regarding that, and I've replied to a couple of comments myself. I've jumped on the Discord, had some conversations with people, and I'm not against sharing my thoughts on the matter. And bear in mind that they are just my personal thoughts. But for me, I have no problem with the Epic Games Store as a whole. Now, I had recorded a whole slew of different bits and bobs of my opinions, and unfortunately Windows decided it was going to crash halfway through the recording, so I'm going to try and summarize my thoughts quite quickly on this. Firstly, I agree that Snapshot should do everything in its power to produce the best possible product. It is ultimately a business, and the product is what will keep the business going. So making a business deal to ensure good funding for future development makes logical sense to me. Secondly, they're still going to be honouring their original pledges for people to have different game keys on different platforms. It's just they're going to end up being delayed. So everyone who's been saying, oh, they're not keeping to their promises, that's not true, or at least it's being massively misrepresented in the way that people are talking. That annoys me, actually. But I mean that's a personal thing more than anything. I don't like people that take half truths and use them to try and sell a point. I think it's very, very poor form. Thirdly, and this is an entirely separate issue that I have, is crowdfunding and what people actually pay for. With crowdfunded projects like this, people are effectively gambling with their money. What they're doing is they are saying, I believe that you have a good idea and I would like to see it happen. So they give their money, organised through a donation company such as Fig or Kickstarter or something like that. They give their money to the people who are doing a project, and quite often there are backer pledges and things where if the project is successful, you get a little kickback as a thank you. But these are not guaranteed. The project may not even succeed. Once you've given your money across, yes, the company will try and do its best to honour those pledges, but ultimately it's in the terms and conditions that you've given them that money for them to do with as they see fit. And this is why I have a problem with crowdfunding for companies trying to garner market interest. I think that's a bad thing, and I think that should be stopped. But that's an entirely separate rant. I know Kickstarter has run into difficulties with some companies over the last 2 years at least, taking money and not so much running, but obviously having had no intention of delivering. And at that point, you could say, like, if someone has sold an idea based on a prototype that's completely faked, that is a level of fraud, and there is something that should be dealt with there. But with something like Phoenix Point and with a lot of games development companies, they have a concept. We've been very involved in the fact that we've had backer builds that we've been able to try and other things like that. But ultimately, if they want to make a deal for exclusivity, they're not breaking their original pledges. The keys are still going to go out through another platform, and I think that they are perfectly within their rights to do that. And I do think the game will probably end up being better in the long run because of it. Now, that's entirely separate to the issues of crowdfunding, as I mentioned. It's entirely separate to the objections people have about the Epic launcher as a whole. If you worry about shady corporations with a finger in the pie, or your data ending up in the hands of the Chinese, I know there's a lot of articles going on at the moment for different things that the Epic launcher has been doing, copying people's Steam friends lists as just one example. I do think that these things are going to be addressed. Everything's going to come out of the woodwork long before Phoenix Point actually publishes. So for me, I am not going to be bothered by the fact that it is releasing on the Epic Games launcher. I'm still going to get my Epic key, I'm going to get my Steam key after a year, so effectively I'm going to get 2 copies of the game. I don't think this is a bad thing, and in addition, there's going to be a year's worth of DLC in the interim. I can't see how this is a bad thing. And as if that wasn't generous enough, Snapshot have recognised that not everyone's going to be happy with this, and they've offered refunds to everyone. I saw an interesting position that someone put, saying that Snapshot's basically used everyone who backed the build as a no interest loan, no interest long-term loan. And that's an interesting way of putting it, but that's not what crowdfunding is. And to put it like that is to massively misrepresent the whole point in crowdfunding. And I think that is a bigger issue than a company changing its development strategy. I think people need to recognise that when crowdfunded campaigns like this crop up, it's because someone wants to make a vision come true. They have an idea for a product that they really think would be great, and they want to make it happen. And giving money towards that project is saying, yes, I want that to happen as well. And it is just that. It is giving money to the project. If you're lucky, you get a kickback from it, but that's not what crowdfunding is. Now, for people who pre-ordered through other sites, they may have separate justifiable cause for annoyance. But for those who went through Fig, I'm sorry, but I can't have sympathy for that. It does suck that these things have to change, but it is a sound decision in my mind. So yeah, I have nothing bad to say about that. Right, okay, so as I said, we're in the process of going through expanding our network. We've still got scavenging sites that we can hit. There's plenty of things for us left to do in this. We don't know when Back in Build 4 is going to be coming out. Rumour is it's still going to be this month. Interesting question, which I don't think has been addressed anywhere, is whether it's going to be coming out in the same format as the existing ones, or whether it's going to be through some variant of the Epic Games system, because that would be an interesting one to see if they do anything with. If they switch the delivery method over now, then it could streamline patching, it could get people used to it, but it could also put a lot of people off trying it out in this early access stage. I do know that the Epic Games Store doesn't offer the early access version. That's only available through the Phoenix Point website as a whole, but there's still quite a lot of question marks up in the air over that. Right. I wonder if we're in a position to get long-range blasts on that. Let's step round and see what is... Well, maybe there might be enough bullets put towards it to actually take it out. So let's rage burst over a long distance. Let's see how lucky we get. What do you know? Fling enough bullets at something and it's definitely gonna die. I honestly didn't expect that to work. I thought it would be far too few bullets. Now I'm thinking we might be able to do it with this one, but I'm worried we're going to get some friendly fire if we do. Let's see just how bad it be. Oh, that won't be bad. It's not even going to hit his shoulder. Awesome. Now, all this discussion and a couple of other things have actually got me to finally join the Snapshot official Discord. I'm sitting in the background, occasionally making comments on things, having little conversations with people. But I am on there, so if you're around and want to say hello, then do feel free. I've also started reading the Phoenix Point briefings. Now there's a whole bunch of them to get through. It's time for me to brush up on the lore and the Pandora virus as a whole, what's brought it to the Earth. So I've started, as you might expect, with number 1, and I'm already loving the bits and bobs that I'm learning about the mist expanding and then contracting, so it's not the first time that it's covered the world. And the mega corporations that rose and fell, and how that's led to the various factions that are going to be in the game. Oh, this is going to hurt. Ooh. Yep, quite painful. We'll have to take him out, and we'll have to do some self-care. Let's call it that. So, technician heal, physician heal thyself. Well, he's not really a physician. He is an engineer. And you know what, you can actually get your own back on this dude. No point in just messing around. Yeah, so I've started going through the briefings, and if you haven't had a chance to look at them, I highly recommend it. It's worth taking the time over. The writing is excellent. The story as a whole it's gripping, it's brilliant, and just little bits from the backstory have already got me so interested in how it's all going to pan out. So I think that's probably going to be my next 6 weeks of, when I have a couple of moments, steal a couple of lines of lore. Very, very much enjoying it. Right, so I've got you and you. You guys are miles away. That is not helpful. Luckily, they only have claws, so we don't really have to worry too much about what they can do to us. Let's get out here. That's probably enough for us to take a pot shot. Oh my word, through every single... Right. Under his leg, between his arms, over his shoulder, it was... pretty terrible. You are wasting so much ammo, mate. Right. Jess, we're putting you on shotgun duty only. I'm sorry, but it's for your own good. Ah, yeah, not quite enough action points there. That's a bit of a shame. Alright, we'll get a bit closer for next turn. What are we going to do over this side? Let's come up. Angle's not great no matter what we try and do. Let's get a grenade in, actually. That'll be fun. Haven't had a grenade yet today, so... So satisfying. So incredibly satisfying. Right, you need to change to a different gun. Let's bring you right up front. Join Sniper Squad. And I think that's probably it. Yes, so to summarise the rambling mind dump that I gave at the start of the video, the Epic Games launcher isn't going to stop me playing Phoenix Point. If you're really worried about it, then you can, of course, uninstall the Epic Games launcher after you've installed Phoenix Point, because Phoenix Point is still going to be DRM free. For me, I'm probably just going to use it to keep the game up to date as normal. So you will continue to see videos in the future. I'm not going to be giving up on this series, so don't go anywhere. We will take this journey together. And if you are really worried about what Epic Games are doing, then do keep an eye on the various news articles regarding their data practices and how things have been written. They are addressing a lot of the concerns in a very public manner, and I think that's the right thing to do for a company that's going to be potentially dealing with a lot of people's financial information. Let's give this guy a big nuke. Now, it wasn't actually as big as I expected. He's still got his arms, he's still got his legs. His face isn't looking quite as good, but right. let's deadly duo this. If we get that arm gone... And then we can actually just finish this guy off. There is a little scuttlebug just over there that needs taking care of, but that doesn't have to be right now. Let's do a big explosion. Step out from underneath the massive barn that will certainly cause our downfall. Yeah, that guy is not going anywhere next turn. I'm wondering, do we have anyone with a... you got a pistol? No. Alright. Yeah, let's just do it with a regular gun then. Oh, there is no way that shot is gonna... Well, maybe. Give it a go. It was a bit hopeful. Go for the other one. You've actually got a chance to hit him. That massive fat leg. There we go. Take him out and be done with it. Now over this side. Oh, we could come forwards and go on Overwatch. Not with the shotgun though. Not with that. And we don't have enough. Fine. Not quite going to go the... Oh, actually, no. If we use exertion, we may just be able to shoot him with a shotgun. That's going to work. Look at that. As for this thing, I think we'll have to wait until it gets a bit closer. Let's fling another grenade at it, actually. Ooh. Might just get caught in the explosion. It might get protected by that that little barrier. No, not quite. Didn't really take much damage, but it has a lot of bleeding. I really want you to carry on with healing yourself, mate. Arms are still a little bit injured, but you've done well to heal everything up. I do wish you could carry on doing the healing on top to get the limbs restored, but it is not available. Probably walking around with light bruising. Alright, that's it for that turn. Ooh. Where did you come from? No return fire from anyone. People are just going to accept that. Okay. Well, in that case, point blank sniping right through the face. No, let's take his arms off. So one arm gone. And we'll take the other one off as well for what it's worth. He's going to die from that, but still feels satisfying. Right, you need to start making your way back across to the engineer. I don't think we're going to be able to get a shotgun blast. Oh, maybe from there. Let's try it. No, way too much spread. That's fine. We'll use a different gun. How's the sniping feeling? That's better. That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. Okay, so a bunch of stuff that we don't really care that much about at the moment. If we carry on down here, we can start making our way across and down and round this way. I think that's probably what we're going to want to do. We've got plenty of material so we can refuel as we go. or we can build ourselves a new refueling station. And this is actually probably a good point to do it, just within range of that one. I like the little danger indicator. I really want to find another Phoenix base. What I'd like is I'd like to find another Phoenix aircraft. It is just another scavenging site. Well, we will save that one for next time. There's a small chance that we'll be able to do one more episode before Backer Build 4 drops. As I said, I don't know precisely when it's going to drop, but the rumour is still that we're going to see it this month. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you for your patience while I put my views forwards about the situation with the Epic Games launcher. As I said at the start, it is my personal opinion. I don't work for Snapshot. I am a big fan of their work, but at the same time, I have no official standing on that. It is just a personal opinion. So if you are liking these videos, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you have any comments or your own opinions on the matter, feel free to drop them down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you should do so, and you'll be told when the next episode goes live. Otherwise, I'll see you next time for some more Phoenix Point. See you soon.